What's happening, my beautiful people? My name is Mike LaBelle. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today, it's that time. I want to discuss Team of the Season, Premier League. I'm going to get right into it, and I need you to understand the criteria. If you want more Team of the Season preview videos, this is the opener, the gateway, like this video. We'll get to running up the other leagues. I'll give you my opinion. I'll give you that combination, the intricate detail, the logistics, the practical approach. We're still playing a video game, and that comes into consideration. Comment down below. I'm not listing out 20 players. I should mention that. I'm going to give you 14. That does not mean that I'm covering every single Team of the Season eligible player. I want to stir the pot. I want the conversation. I'd like the comments to be used and abused. You get where I'm going here. This is just my opener. Criteria. Please pay attention. Write this down. These players, their FIFA capabilities or their abilities on the virtual pitch comes into consideration. The team performance on the actual pitch, the individualism, if you're a stat room stuffer, if you impact, you have a presence for your squad. And then let's take into consideration, let's use a little math equation, the foot equation, some EA choices. Whether that's because someone's a household name or they're going to have you opening packs, there's hype involved. That plays a factor. Let's not act like it doesn't. Some of you will only look at Team of the Season and the application from what happens on the actual pitch. That's just not how Team of the Season works. It's still a video game, and in many ways, it's a business. I've broken this down into goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders, attackers, and we're playing some sort of very strange 4-4-3. That will make sense as we get into it. My 3 honorable mentions, and you can interchange this. These guys could be in the starting 11. I feel as if they're gonna be a sure thing. All 3 of these gentlemen are gonna be included when EA releases some sort of Team of the Season Premier League, or maybe most consistent. We're looking at the likes of Grealish, Souček, and Sonaldo. Familiar faces. And if you look at the seasons they've had, the impact on their clubs, the individual movements, the moments, the build-up, the credibility, the reputation, the accolades, they're all there. And this is where it gets really tricky. It's completely subjective. There's so many players on my list for the Premier League. I don't want to sit here and give you player on player on player on player and justify these decisions. It wouldn't be difficult for me to do so. But before we know it, or before you know it, or I know it, or we know it, the ecosystem, I'm going to be talking about 30, 40 players, and then it's everybody that had a great season was in the Team of the Season, or somebody that deserves credit is going to be mentioned in the video. And I still want us to be bold. I want us to stand behind something, and I want a conversation starter, something that's going to be a discussion point. If somebody walks into your living room, you got a piece of art on the wall. You say, who made that? Give me the backstory. I want the narrative. Those are my 3 honorable mentions. And I've given a lot of disclaimers. Please don't come after me with negativity. I don't deserve it. I gave you the criteria. We're all gonna have different opinions. I know that about half these choices are gonna align really smoothly. And then the other half, especially if you support some team in the Premier League and you have that bias, myself included, and I didn't even incorporate any of my bias into this. As a spoiler, there are no Everton players in the starting 11. That's who I rock with, if you didn't know. I probably should be wearing something blue, but we do have a blue Red Bull behind us. That counts. Goalkeeper, I've gone with Ederson. I think a large portion of you will agree. I know others will make arguments maybe for Martinez. There's a few. It's a short list. I don't think there's that many players that come into this discussion. Maybe 3 or 4 that really have a strong stance or a strong claim to being the best goalkeeper in the Premier League, if we're taking in the collective of how we've allocated these rankings, or at least how I've allocated the logic behind the choices and the selections. I've got Ederson. First place, likely to win the Premier League, Manchester City. He's also a definite presence and leader. As for a goalkeeper, that's something you need to have. Commands the back line. It's not all about the defenders or the midfielder. You got to have a goalkeeper that is strong-willed, strong-minded. I just watched Neuer play in the Champions League and almost give Bayern Munich that chance that they needed in that second leg versus PSG. Sweeper keeper in full effect, complete motion, just doing enough, throwing off the opposition. Defenders, let's start with a couple players that I believe you will have on your list. Luke Shaw, this is gonna be a beast incoming, and most of you I think will co-sign. You roll with this selection. He's also English. His inform was nice. Manchester United. He's performing on the actual pitch. Why wouldn't Luke Shaw be eligible for a selection as a left back? And I don't feel there's that much competition for his position in terms of them being upper echelon. Could you make a couple arguments? For sure. I'm not saying that it's only Luke Shaw, that it's clear cut. Give him the roses, he'll come up with some flowers, give him a walk around the block. But that would be my first choice. On the other side, João Cancelo. Anywhere on the pitch, this man is a terror. Plays anywhere he wants down the flank. He would be a fantastic Call of Duty specialist, maybe even spectacular, making those intricate, demonic, sneak and peek moments of greatness in Call of Duty. As for the center backs, oh, this is gonna get debatable. I got Soyuncu, probably my easiest of the defenders to interchange. You could even put Fofana there if you wanted. Do you argue for Stones, Maguire? I know United fans will get in the comments. I think it's a good time to reiterate FIFA importance. I've also got Ruben Diaz next to him, as that's the partnership. Like I said, we could even see Kyle Walker here. Think about how relevant he's been in FIFA. That center back inform foot item. We just have an assortment of choice. We have an entanglement, an arrangement of preference. And I personally like Diaz on that appetizer list. You might get better statistical allocation if we're just looking at FIFA importance if you go in a different direction, especially if you compare these two center backs. Because even Diaz, highest rated foot item, was a bit overrated in my opinion. This would be an easy, clear cut if you just want a maniac on the virtual pitch, and I still think he'll probably get some sort of upgrade, is Kyle Walker. Or one of the fullbacks, you just move him over to a center back. That would be an easy move, groove, work it out, free flow, fluid. At this point, it doesn't necessarily make sense. I'm not saying that this is a Dirty Mike stamp of approval, but a lot of fullbacks are just better center backs. I made that video, and I think that's a reality in FIFA 21 if we're really diving deeper into the meta. Midfielders, and I'm not sure these guys could play together on the same pitch. The balance would not be correct, and therefore it's likely that this won't be the team of the season, but these are the 4 players that I really wanted to discuss. And at the end of the day, this is some of my predictions. I still think they all have a great chance or opportunity to have a team of the season foot item. We just might see some on the bench or some as the reserve. I'm not sure it's possible if you're trying to create a complete top to bottom balanced midfield with this group. But I've got 2 that are automatic. The musicians, the directors, the composers, plenty of composure, leadership qualities, decision making, just pure and utter impact for their clubs internationally. They're fantastic. 2 of the best midfielders in the world. No one's going to argue against that. Of course, we have Bruno Fernandes and Kevin De Bruyne. Both already have previews of what a team of the season foot item may look like with their team of the year foot items that was earlier introduced during December, of course, or coming into January. I've also gone with Gundo. Rerunning the years. We've seen Player of the Month rendition. He's a city repper, and he has a lot of FIFA potential with a couple upgrades in the key stats, which I believe they're going to give to him with the pace and the stamina. He scored a lot of goals this year. He's a world-class player on a world-class squad that is getting world-class results. So I'm not saying this is automatic. We're not talking about driving a car, and I'm definitely not saying that it's like driving a stick, but he's likely to be a Cinderella at the big dance. Somehow I combined Disney movies, Michael Jordan documentaries, and FIFA discussion or FIFA talk. Welcome to the YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed and you made it this far, that would be a great time to pause, scroll down. There you go. Insert there. Perhaps a surprise choice, but I got Mason Mount. At the point of this recording, Chelsea could finish anywhere between 3rd to 6th. I think that's a fair range. Not talking about the Rover. And Mount has had a breakout season of all breakout seasons. I believe that we have an argument, that we have a presentation, PowerPoint. Am I right? Am I wrong? Please let me know. But I wanted to discuss it. I wanted to talk about it. Here we are. And I know it's an unorthodox midfield. We're all on the same page. I'm not sure how that lines up in terms of having holding mids and more attacking mids and the spacing and the general alignment and teamwork. That's not the argument that I'm making. Just 4 names I wanted to talk about that I believe are well suited to be team of the season players. And in theory, they all can be team of the season players. Remember, EA is going to release more than 14 names. And as for the attackers, my front 3, Harry Kane leads the league in goals and assists. Surely it's a must call. give me his phone number. Whether you love or you hate the way that he performs, the way that he talks, Tottenham. I know a lot of Arsenal supporters will get in that comment section rather quickly. I'm trying my best to separate the passion that you have for your favorite football players and football clubs, because I see football Twitter every weekend and it is a mess. Can be a disaster. It's aggressive. A lot of the opinions, they don't include that much structure or substance behind the argument. But I get it. You're passionate about your organization, your club, and the type of energy, ambiance, atmosphere, correlation, happiness, sadness, roller coaster rides that they're going to take you on. But I believe Harry Kane has to be here. And then next to him on the wings, I guess you could make him a striker as well, Rashford. He should really get his own stamp of approval. One of the most dangerous players in FIFA. Absolutely dynamic on the real pitch as well. Has those skill moves. Kind of reminds me of a mini Ronaldo. There's a lot of shared characteristics if we're talking about FIFA. And I just can't see EA not giving Rashford that upgrade considering how impactful he's been in FIFA. Just think about it. If you have the opportunity to get a team of the season Rashford, are you interested? And this is why I talk about EA choices. FIFA ability. Of course, the team performance been great with United. And are we going to knock Rashford as an individual? I don't think that we are. Easy face for a team of the season upgrade. And last but not least, we've got Salah. Did you play Yu-Gi-Oh? It's actually just past my time. I invested so heavily into Pokemon that I really wasn't ready to take on another card game at the moment. So I never got all the way into Yu-Gi-Oh, but I did watch the show. You had the Egyptian God card status. That's what we're getting with Salah. I also never touched Digimon. Do you guys remember Magic? That game's been running longer than any of these games, but I also think somehow I missed that window. Even though it was being played, it wasn't frequent at the schools that I went to. I saw it, but I didn't know the background, the details, the storylines, the dialogue, or I didn't have those relationships with friends of mine or people that I knew in school that were playing Magic the Gathering. Even though Salah's going to gather those finesse shots and they're going to have a lot of whippage and movement. But that's my front three. I know that I've excluded a lot of players. That's done on purpose, and that's why we have the comment section. Who do you want to see? Who do you think deserves a spot? Who's going to get snubbed? Some of y'all will get in the comments and talk about Lingard because he makes a loan and he's killed it since he's made that loan. But we're talking what? 10 games? 8 games? 9 games? I know his statistical production, incredible. This guy is the producer of any TV show, but that's not a full season. You surely can't have him as a team of the season based on what he's given you, not even a halfway point, or maybe a halfway point. It's a difficult selling point, and that's not to take away from Lingardinho, not at all, not to discredit. We just have a big talent pool to pick from, and a lot of fanatics. So let me know in the comments, and I have a lot more coming out ASAP. We upload daily. Appreciate you. Stay beautiful. Also keep the comments somewhat respectful.